Today's horror story comes from our beloved subscriber and listener, Art Monso, and it is called 5e Can Be Any System If You Homebrew It Enough.
By the way, I also think so because it is so universal. You can pretty much play Call of Cthulhu with it. You can pretty much play any game using the D&D rules. Because it is so versatile and universal. Yeah. Now, this is a bit more of a rant from one of my current groups, but I hate that they will not try anything but D&D 5e. They will not try anything. Let's see what they will say in a couple of years. There are so many TTRPGs right now popping up after Wizards of the Coast continue messing up with their IP, and Hasbro also. But still it is huge. D&D is still number one TTRPG, and when we say TTRPG, we mean D&D, and when we say D&D, we mean TTRPG.
It's still true to a large extent. I offer a bunch of different games, and my players want to play D&D. And I'm going to play what they want to play.
Market decides. I have tried to introduce them to any other system, but I always told that you can just homebrew it. And introduced me to a new homebrew of a third-party book. I have given them books off my shelf to read, although I never got around to doing so. I've been told at least once or twice it seems like a waste of money when D&D is so moldable and flexible for any setting. By the way, I would agree.
I do too. It really is.
It was a ghost.
I was just saying, I agree with you. You can mold the D&D platform to any setting. It can be sci-fi, it can be fantasy, it doesn't matter. You just use the infrastructure of the game to run in whatever setting you want to.
Hell, people run One Piece with it, which is for pirates. They even run something like Stardew Valley with the D&D games.
Yeah,
like
I've got friends that created campaigns based on book series, and all they did was they created the setting themselves, and they used the D&D rules for it. D&D itself has Lord of the Rings, Call of Cthulhu. They have all of those different books that are designed to work with D&D 5e as well as on their own.
And you can also tweak it a little bit. You see? The ghost.
It's a ghost dog.
Shit. So scary. And what was I about to say before I almost got a heart attack? You can tweak a little bit rules that you don't really like to make it more for your taste. Maybe borrow some things from other TTRPGs as well to implement them in your set of rules. So it is so flexible. Savage World. The combat seems way too complex compared to D&D. Why are playing cards instead of D20s for initiative? Traveler, Starfinder, or any sci-fi? Why spend so much time doing characters when you can add lasers to D&D? They have point. Arton, so they have point.
They do. And by the way, there is, what is it called? Spelljammer or whatever? Spelljammer is Starfinder, but the D&D version. I think it's called Spelljammer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's basically, it's sci-fi D&D.
I bet they have it. For sure, for sure. Mothership, this Vestral,
Vaesen?
Vaesen, right. Yeah, Vaesen also can be played in D&D. Yeah, mutants and masterminds. There are superhero mods for D&D 5e. And if you want something that uses D20, why not stick to D&D? Fate, 2D20, and Genesis. Why to pay for something with a non-standard dice when you can play D&D? Mind you, we play online on Roll20. By the way, Fate have those dice that are probably used only in Fate.
There are other games that are like that too, like the One Ring has its own dice set, and Electric State has its own dice set.
So, when it was close to Halloween, I suggested running a one-shot of Call of Cthulhu set in our home county. I reskinned the Hunting Starter module and spent a good month redoing the articles on InDesign and Photoshop to flavor it closer to the Bay Area. I made some pre-made ones for people who wanted to jump in and offered to help people who were more invested in making characters. So we sat down for the first session of 4 planned for the month, and the 2 members of 6-person group wondered what the hell was in front of them. The 2 ill-called game mom and working Joe started to ask why this was Call of Cthulhu and not Call of Cthulhu 5e. They were prepped for 5e. I told them that at no point did I say 5e. They both started going off about how I could have done it in 5e easily. That we were too old to be learning a whole new system. They were in their mid-20s. They are already too old to learn new systems. And that we would have to learn a new system from scratch. They also said it would take too long to make characters even to play, and they just should have done it in D&D, as people do not want to come to this after a long day at work and taking care of it. But Call of Cthulhu is the most popular game in Japan, for example. Number 1 over there.
I haven't played Call of Cthulhu in the D&D 5e module. I have it, but I haven't played it that way. I love playing Call of Cthulhu in Call of Cthulhu. Yeah. In the free league or whatever it is. And you get a whole different feel from playing it the way it was intended to be played. It is a very fear-inducing, sit on the edge of your seat type game, and it is nothing like the forgiving, impossible to kill your characters version of D&D 5e 2024. So you're selling yourself short wanting to play it in there.
And as a player, you don't really have to learn the whole new system. If Artman so already done it for you, he will just tell you what to roll. When we were playing with Call of Cthulhu, me and John, and you can watch the video, I will put link in the description, how the game went. I had no idea about the game at all and learned how to play it on the go. It is not all that hard for a player, because the DM runs the game, he tells you what to do. You just make the decisions following the basic knowledge of the basics. You don't have to read everything.
Exactly.
Actually anything. So I counted each point, made pre-mades, and used digital sheets to do the rolls for you. I also made quick play cards for the handouts. This will be over 4 sessions, so we have time to play and learn. I was counted with, we should make our own characters instead of using pre-made for immersion. The delay to look up rules would break immersion and make the game a slug. No one here wants this. This is a D&D group after all. The other joined the other 2 to keep the peace, and I pulled out an Adventure League mod called Bolo's Wake, which should take us about 5 hours at least, as I can run it from memory. So, we spent 1 session making characters, the pair debating me about using point by or standard array instead of dice rolls, being called old for wanting to use the balanced and faster character builder. Half the party spent the time trying to fish for 18s. I don't like dice rolling for character stats. No. I don't know.
I don't know how it possibly happens, but every time I have somebody roll dice for their character, they have like nothing under 16. How is that even possible? You want characters...
It's calling for cheating.
If you want characters that are untouchable, you're setting yourself up for a very boring game.
But even if he rolls in front of you, if you see all the dice rolls, it can go both ways, and it is going to be much worse than balanced character. He could be very weak and almost unplayable, and you will become pretty useless. Or you become OP and the game becomes boring, just going through the story without any challenges. So, the second session, the Working Joe spent an hour and 30 of a 4-hour session, depending rewards for the quest, despite everyone pointing out that the mini campaign would last long enough for gold to be useful, and was hit with it's what my character would do, and could be resolved if I just made the quest giver say yes already. The last 2 got cancelled, surprised work shifts on the third season, and everyone being so late, we would one have less than an hour on the fourth session. The whole time this was happening, the group mom was asking me if I was okay, and I seemed agitated and upset. I was upset. I spent so much time on Call of Cthulhu game, even showing the handles I made for the game. My group mom told me that if I had come here earlier, she could have helped me homebrew it into 5e. Who is group mom?
One of the characters he calls Group Mom, and another one of the characters he calls Working Joe. I hate to break it to you, Group Mom, but he didn't want it homebrewed into 5e. That's the whole point.
Call of Cthulhu.
How about if everybody just gets on the same page and goes along with the guy who is providing you with weekly entertainment for your lives that you claim are so difficult?
As far as we told that D&D is versatile, there is no problem trying different other TTRPG systems.
There's nothing to learn. You create a character. If you're a terrible role player, then you don't want to use a pre-made character. That's the only reason to refuse making pre-made characters, because you're a terrible role player and you can only play the character you created because it's you.
If your DM asks you to run different kind of game, at least give it a try. You are in your mid-20s learning new system, being too old. Come on. There are people in their 70s learning D&D.
You guys are acting like a 70-year-old trying to use a remote.
I wasn't sure where to add this fact, but the whole group is on the spectrum, myself included. I'm sure they didn't mean to hurt my feelings with some of the stuff they do or say, but still, who joins a hobby with so many different games to try and just focus on the most corporate garbage possible? We don't read TLDR, but we can go with Edit 1. Thanks for all the feedback and comments. I'm going to be bringing up the Kingmaker 5e conversion to the group, but keep the 2e Pathfinder Kingdom Builder. See if that is a small enough change to get them thinking, and if not, we'll just drop it. As for Pathfinder, it could feel differently because it is all very combat focused.
A little bit. Also, they just changed the names of everything.
Yeah. Reskinned a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, you're basically playing the same game. You're just changing all the terminology. I don't really see the point of that.
Because it is set for optimizers very much, as far as I understand. You can deal extreme damage if you build it correctly. So this is more of a tactical game rather than role play. This is a big shift for me. I would rather try Call of Cthulhu. I tried Call of Cthulhu. I would rather try anything else. Fallout, by the way, I wanted to try also. I tried Call of Cthulhu, tried Fate, tried D&D. They all feel different and worth trying. As for Pathfinder, it is like playing D&D, but for people who are not like me. They are looking for different things in TTRPG than me. Maybe if I try it, I might like it as well. But I don't like builds, especially when you build your character according to some builds and manuals. When people post online how you could build to maximize your damage, and you just put stats as they tell you to, despite of what you think of the character and the world's logic. So if game becomes only numbers, I think that I wouldn't enjoy it as much.
I'm the same way. And I'm a math guy, so I love the math of it, but I just don't like to min-max my characters because I want them to be flawed. I want them to fail sometimes because that's where the game is, right? How they deal with failure, how they deal with success. If they only ever roll above 20, what's the point?
I also like to say that outside of a game, they are a lot more reasonable and supportive. I've known a good chunk of them since high school, and they've been a shoulder to cry on when life gets me overwhelmed, and then to be understanding to my different mental conditions. I am the new DM of the group. They have their own games, and in a way, DMs in the group a change to play.
Yeah. While I do agree that D&D is very versatile and can be used across tons of different settings, I do also understand your desire to expose your group to some games that they wouldn't normally be exposed to. Call of Cthulhu, when played in the Call of Cthulhu system, is amazing. And they are missing out by refusing to try it. So keep trying to get them to try something new. But I mean, as a professional DM, I'm going to play what my players want to play. I don't put my own stuff out there. I tell them what settings or what games I can run, and they can choose from them. But if they want to all choose D&D 5e, I'll play that because every game is different.